is here. Okay, get this started. Any questions to start off? Oh, you hear them? Oh gosh. Okay. Well, my wife will be here in like 4 minutes, and I'll be able to step out. We were just playing on the trampoline with the sprinkler, so we're all a little wet, and they're all looking at me now, like, okay. So no questions, and let's start with some housekeeping. Got some updates here on general stuff. Just saw Maduka just posted in our chat that Champs 1614, what a steal. Wow, rainbow cap, periwinkle, gold weapon, $17. I don't see the, I can go in and look at the actual stats. That's an amazing looking shroom right there. Give it back to him. So we had about 20 Reign of Power players. That's okay, you can share. So we had about 20 Reign of Power players this month. So a nice little turnout, and we seemed to like the way the comps were structured. Had a lot more players, we think, than normal. So we're going to have our goal of setting timeframes that are really good for the future events to be community driven. Like I'll be talking about our voting abilities here soon as well. So we have got that set up. Let's see here. Yeah, so that'll be one of the things. I think we'll have a general vote for maybe Discord for that. So I don't think you'll have to have token. But like I said, we are going to be moving forward with the community takeover where the token ownership is the ability to vote on a lot of things, content, decisions. And again, I'm going to cover all that. We have a whole little section for that. So there you go. Let me see. We're considering a season of PvP next. So if there's any community input, we'd like to have a PvP tournament. And it's still on the list to decide what we want to do about the level problem, because anybody can set their level down, obviously, but it's no real fun to do that and then grind your way back up, especially those in levels. So that's still on our list, but we've been using Reign of Power as our surrogate PvP. And then, I'll get to that alpha in a minute, but we do have some new content cooking. The devs were working this week. They sent me some screenshots. I don't think I'm going to leak any, but they were looking good. Am I? Hey, Cossack, am I? I'm not coming through good. Okay. Range. How about now? I'm putting the microphone a little closer. Am I picking up background noise too much? Maybe. Here, I'm gonna close the door on the kids. How about that? All right. Well, let me change buildings then. Hold on. I think my wife is pulling up anyway. Thank you guys. You guys tried being quiet, I guess, didn't you? Oh. All right, I'm moving buildings. Just 1 second. Going over to the man cave building. But if this doesn't work, I can switch to my phone and headset there. But I tried my laptop this week, hoping it would be better than my desktop, because apparently every time I use the desktop, it doesn't work for stages for some reason. All right. Okay, loud and clear. This is the best you've ever sounded. Oh my God. I don't know if that's good or bad. Okay. Now let me tell my wife a little update. Okay. All right, so we're just gonna start over. All righty, we're just gonna start. Oh, laugh out loud, lost it again. Everyone else can hear me though. I mean, it's picking up. It says it looks like I'm working. I didn't change anything. One of these days when I grow up, I'll be good at this. Anyway, so starting over, we are going to leave it up to the community to help really knock down the best reign of power times. We want everyone, we had basically double the amount of people in the last season, and the sprints seemed to work really good. So we're going to keep trying to, zero in on the best times ranges, and then we're going to be doing a PvP. We're going to be doing a PvP tournament, and again, I'm going to be having Madukari and I are meeting with CodeStar next week. He's probably our finalist for the dev to take over for Matsta. He is a full stack dev. He is coming from someone that is a good friend of mine, and he works on projects that I can see, and he's pretty expensive, so I know he's probably good. But good devs can kind of name their price right now, even with AI and the way everything's going. A good dev is really hard to find, and especially one that doesn't constrain you, because a lot of devs will kind of back you into corners to where you kind of have to use them. I know that sounds bad, but I don't know if you guys have been in the hiring process, but you got to be very careful with not becoming captive to your tech stack and your tech Peter. So so that's the update on the dev. Matt's is still working. Him and Madukari were working this last week on some new content. It's something we've mentioned before. I'm not going to redrop the alpha, but it's a game mode that we've talked about before. It was actually in my notes from about mid-July. So if you remember mid-July, I actually had a whole section on it. It's going to have a use case for mycelium. So we're going to have a mycelium use case, and there's going to be some wagering and gambling and leaderboards and the biggest prizes we've ever given. So as long as reign of power stays stable, because we keep tweaking it, but if it's going to cause so many queries and interactions with the database that which slows the rest of the game down, then we're going to pull back on reign of power. But as long as it stays stable, and we think this new mode will kind of bifurcate people's attention a little bit, so it should keep both of them pretty fresh. I got some chats coming in. I'll check those in just a second. Let's see here. For each Cossack, I'm not for sure, man. I apologize if it's on my end. I think everyone else is hearing me okay. All right, so next, there were 4 new explorers that were released in the last 10, 15 days. One of them was our first community suggestion. So this is, again, the narrative of community takeover. You guys are helping us build content. You're going to help us build out the lore. We're going to have some competitions for lore building and art, and basically suggestions for explorers, any kind of stuff that comes in. I'm not going to mention any names because a lot of the people that are helping us right now don't want to be mentioned by name. So I would say that okay. So now we've had 2 people. KW, it's doing the same thing. It's only letting you hear one sentence and then silence. Interesting. I can switch to my phone and my headset. I'm on my MacBook with a headset. Very strange. I'm on Starlink. Starlink has had some outages today, but the rest of the internet seems to be running fine. And I've got, I think, like 8 devices hooked to it, and nobody's having any problems. All right, so I don't know. I'm gonna keep going. I do apologize if hurting anybody there. So we are having a developer meeting tonight. So I hope to have some good stuff done there. Again, I'm not going to leak too much alpha there, but we're basically zeroing in on the final negotiations with our lead dev. and Madukari is leading that up with Morig and some other unnamed people in the community that have coding experience. So I will tell you that we've really been sourcing a lot of labor through the community. I believe the boys have found me. What's going on, guys? I'm on the phone. Go back to Bo, honey. Go back. They just showed up wanting to play music at the door. That's so funny. I think they're trying to be famous. Anyway, so moving on. Any questions so far over any of that housekeeping stuff? But yeah, I really want to shout out to the couple people behind the scenes that are, really helping us with workflow and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I'm sorry, Cossack. Here, I will try real quickly to switch. Just give me 10 seconds here. I'll switch and see if this fixes it. I don't think it will, but let's try. Hello. How about now? Let's try this. I'm just trying speakerphone at this point. Okay. Wow. All right. Well, living and learning there. Sorry, y'all. Okay, so we'll just make it simple and start over and just do it all real fast. Okay. Let me get into somewhere I can sit down. All right. I'm assuming everyone can still hear me. I'm on speaker on my laptop. Okay. So we're having a dev meeting today, and we're narrowing down. Probably going to go with CodeStar. That's the big development news. Matt's is still working till the end of the month, and they've been creating new content. The last Reign of Power was double subscribed over normal, to over 20 players. So we think we're getting closer to a formula everyone likes. So we're going to have more zoned times and voting on which times are the best. So you'll see more of the same with Reign of Power, and we will make it even more enjoyable as far as flexibility and the time for everyone to get in there. Let's see here. The goal is to have the best time for the community on all future events. We're going to look at a PvP season, so any community input is welcome on PvP. Again, we are trying to, we might even have like a third party or a white label for the PvP tournaments. But again, just try to everyone get up to the highest levels you can. I think that'll be one of the best ways to solve it, is just have level 20 or level 18 or 17 tournaments. There was 4 new explorers that were added in the last 2 weeks. One of them was a community suggestion. Please keep those ideas coming. The new content that Mats and Madukri were working on this week was something that'll have a use case for mycelium. It'll have a, I believe, it'll have a wagering mechanic, a risk mechanic. There'll be a leaderboard. There'll be the best prizes we've ever had. And I don't want to give it away, but I had mentioned the game mode in July. So you would be able to know what the new game mode is if you were around back then. We have lined up the budget for the new dev. We've lined up the budget for we're going to be doing SEO. We're going to be doing some community spotlight stuff, but we have a budget and we're using a system. A partner of mine has an AI system that is really pretty impressive, and it can get honestly any website in the top 10 very consistently. So I'm not going to give it away because he's still probably going to develop and sell the method that he's doing, but he's like, hey, I'll let you use it. So for YouEarn.ai and for Champs, we will be having the same SEO strategy, the same LLM strategy. So we'll be using AI to get our marketing out there. I really want to say thank you to the unnamed community members that have really stepped up and helped us out. All kinds of stuff. They're helping us with security, workflow, getting test environments up and running so we can have more people testing stuff and coding. Because right now we've been doing everything on a beta server, and that sounds crazy, I know, but we've for months and almost a year we haven't had any luck getting a local test server for all of our devs, which has really slowed us down. There's a lot of technical reasons, and I don't understand fully all of them myself, but people smarter than me have been like, well, it's really tough, and now we're getting it. I think we're close to having it live. So if we had a local test server for every single dev where they can just go nuts and not worry about messing up the beta server, that's going to be very helpful. That's basic housekeeping. Now, alpha stuff coming up. Let me pull switch list here. Snapshot.box. I'll type it in the chat. But we did have a whale set up this. It is snapshot.box / hound. Just go to the snapshot.box actually and just type Champs. But we set up a DAO. That's going to be how we vote. A lot of big organizations are already using it. So this ties into we're going to be giving away a lot of token for players so you can grind and become a larger owner of the company through grinding, have more voting share, have more rights to revenue, have more ability to be a part of the development team. And when we get to the next level,
we hope to actually have other games that we either resurrect, because we're trying to get a strategy here of community takeover, and a corporate technical overhaul. That's our CTO squared narrative, because we want to get this thing more in line with a traditional corporation, but we want it to be owned by the players. I'm still working with tax accountants and lawyers to make sure I can keep everything copacetic there. But the goal is for this to be the first community-owned game where the players are the owners. We cut out all the middlemen from advertisers and retailers. We drive revenue to our user base. We monetize your human capital through AI, and we create a floor of revenue that a third of the revenue will go to the player, a third will go to the community, which would be champs in this particular case, and then a third would go to the YouEarn AI corporation to keep that thing going. So Champs wants to be one of the leaders in referring people not only to play Web3 games and earn that way, but also to use AI and monetize their data, because your data is being sold. There's a huge lawsuits going on right now with VPNs, where VPNs are selling your data now. Your everything, all your Bluetooth is selling your data. Every time you turn on Bluetooth, you're basically selling your data. My goodness, your bed is selling your data, your blankets, like anything that's smart, your toothbrush, it's all selling your data, and it's all coming to light now because of the European law changes. But essentially, you should be getting that money. And we're going to help players become aware of that and monetize it. So that's the voting mechanism. The next thing here, let me scroll down, is... see, I believe YouEarn.ai, we had a really great week last week. We got a lot of stuff. We've pretty much finalized our budget, and our investor has basically signed on. So we're hoping to have the very basic model of that within, we think no more than 90 days. We think we can have it out in 60. Maybe even 30 on the very base model, but we're trying to decide if we want to get it out fast and get everyone to use it, or refine it a little bit and then take it to the advertisers directly. So you'll see more in game that the questions will become more explicit, and we're trying to build profiles. So like you dip your toe in, we ask you some simple questions. The AI takes those answers and tags it to your profile. Then the AI is going to ask a little deeper questions. Why did you say this? Why did you say that? When did you do that? How did you do that? The 5 questions. And then, yes, explicit questions where you kind of explain further your logic, because we don't want just yes, no's. I see what you mean. Yeah. Not rated R explicit, but, I believe that's almost the end of my speech today. It's not really an AMA because no one's asking me anything, but it is an AMA in the sense of I am here to be asked. Let me check my chats. I do have 5 chats here. Just one second. I do have people have been mentioning we've been getting the same questions. We do have CodeStar looking into that. He's actually looking into it right now. He's one of the people messaging me. Another thing I wanted to discuss is make sure I didn't lose you guys because I switched over to chat. One of the big things we're going to be voting on is what to do with the LP, liquidity pool. Right now, the contract is unlocked. I'm going to put forth that we go to Uniswap v4. We can create a yield on that. There's a lot of synthetic AMM stuff you can do now, but we can't do that with our 5% tax. So we want to be able, that's going to be something the token holders will vote on. Do we keep that for revenue? We have made a little revenue on the tax. To be fair, we've probably pulled in like $3,000 in the last 60 days. So that's not zero. That's really helpful in this environment because especially we're not getting much royalties on NFTs. So that, that's something. We do have some tentative meetings with will there be some kind of documents released that will go into more detail on? Yes, we're going to have to put together essentially a DAO white paper. So yes, that'll be coming, and it'll be very straightforward though. It'll be There'll be certain tiers to get on the board. There'll be, voting rights for all token holders above a certain percentage. And then, the rev share is just going to be a percentage of ownership. So it'll be like an earnings per share of a stock or a normal corporation. But yes, we'll have all that typed up. We want to get to the revenue stage. I want to make sure that we're going to be able to monetize the user data and generate revenue. If that doesn't work, that's a big piece of the pie. If in 90 days from now, because again, January 26th is we have to have everything ready to go, because I think that's when the gaming narrative is going to shift. Venture capital did increase by almost 100% this last quarter. So venture capital people are waking up to GameFi. I am seeing a rotation back into it. It's not a lot of money. I mean, even though it's up 100%, is 94%. It's still not a lot of money. I think it was like $8 million. It's not, but that's how bad it got. I mean, venture capital was basically zero for about a year in the GameFi world, in this world that we've been playing in. And that's why a lot of projects have went under. They just were not able to get any more runway. And it stinks, because there's been a lot of good projects closed recently that had great games. And it's sad to hear that someone, I mean, I know people that have put millions of dollars of their own money into games, and now they just could not get another 6 months or a year to hang on. So, one of our back pocket plans is to, make this model work with champs, and then go to those dead games and help revive them, because those communities are still there, and those holders of all those assets would love, if their data could be monetized and they could start sending revenue into the DAO, essentially, to bring back those things. It may not work, but I mean, it's better than giving up. So yes, madness, absolutely. But see, we're gonna want you guys to develop it with us. The white paper for the DAO, that'll be partly what you guys want to see. Like, so if you say, hey, I own a token, I want this, this, and this, then that's something we can vote on right away, or just put it in. That's where the whale chat comes in. If you get to 5 million token, you get into the whale chat, and we're talking every day in there, and they have a lot of, I think we have 19 or 20 whales, and 5 million tokens, not horrible to get right now, especially with Ethereum kind of dipping a little bit. So maybe I would tell you now that 5 million tokens is going to be pretty much the sweet spot to own, as far as earning and being on the board and getting the share, the base level revenue share that makes the most sense. But absolutely, we'll get all that together. Okay, so 4:35. I know we had a bunch of rough starts and stops. Let me see if I have any notes. Any of the questions? But yeah, the Uniswap LP review will be one of the first things we vote on. We'll also be voting on some simpler stuff, and some community suggestions will be voted on. I hope to have that up by the end of the month. It's already set up. I basically just got to do a couple clicks and it's there. And there you go. So I'm going to go ahead and do a 2-minute warning here. I don't want to ramble or waste any more time. And I don't have anything I can actually say any further, because if I say anything, it'll start more chains of questions. But all I can say is we have something really fun coming out. I can't wait to play it. We've had a lot of again, I want to say thank you so much. We have a lot of community members. I'd say 5 to 10 people that are really pitching in and helping us and really owning the community takeover part of this. So yeah, 2-minute warning here. Any questions? I'm going to check my chats. Okay. Yes, thank you, Crypto King. Thank you, everyone. 11 people. Honored as always. I know it's hard to show up every week, and I don't know anybody doing AMAs even once a month. I'm in over like 80 Discords, and I guess maybe it's excessive, but I just want to be available for everyone. I want you guys to be able to be heard. Oh, if you have any game suggestions, please just do a Discord ticket, please. Yeah. And we had some new art done this week, so for the new game mode, and I think everyone will like it. We're going to keep beefing up Reign of Power and making it more fun, and throw in a little PvP. But essentially, the next big thing is a leaderboard where you. I don't want to give it away, but it's going to be fun, and you can play it anytime, and it won't interfere with the regular game. And it won't be like Reign of Power where you have to be available during a certain. It's going to be like not tied to a specific amount of time in the sense of you have to be there at that time. But yeah, so Sparkle, throw those into Discord. 1 more minute. I got 2 more chats. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, no, those are just, nope, that's not questions. That's just the devs talking to. Okay, all right. Well, everyone, I really appreciate it. And like I said, we hope to have this new game mode no later than the end of the month. It's going to be one of the last things Masta helps us do. And the AI is going to get a little beefier over the next week. And then we hope to have the UEarn base, minimum viable product out within 30 days, or at least some semblance of it, so we can start looking at that as a community. But if you have any other questions, yes, please send them. Thank you guys so much. Again, very honored that everyone's here. I appreciate your time, and we will see you all next week. Cheers now.